The year is almost over and chapter 1000 is almost upon us, so what better way to fill in that small gap than with a top 30 strongest list. This list will not include any dead, non-canon, or historic characters, so it's only like the current timeline characters. Let's kick it off at number 30 with Vinsmoke Sanji. Number 29, Shiryu of the Rain. Number 28, Eustace Captain Kidd. Number 27, Charlotte Cracker. Number 26, Yamato. Number 25, Charlotte Smoothie. Number 24, Roronoa Zoro. Number 23, Yasop. Number 22, Jack. Number 21, Boa Hancock. Number 20, Trafalgar D. Waterlaw. Number 19, Edward Weevil. Number 18, Queen. Number 17, Lucky Roo. Number 16, Monkey D. Luffy. Number 15, Don Quixote do Flamingo. Number 14, Ben Beckman. Number 13, King. Number 12, Marco the Phoenix. Number 11, Charlotte Katakuri. Number 10, Green Bull. Number 9, Fujitora. Number 8, Kizaru. Number 7, Dracule Mihawk. Number 6, Aokiji. Number 5, Akainu. Number 4, Red-Haired Shanks. Number 3, Marshall D. Teach. Number 2, Charlotte Linden. And number 1, Kaido. And let's do a quick rundown of the list, kind of talk about it a little bit. What you'll see here is a big composure of the Yonko and their commanders. And then we have the top tier echelon of the Marines, which is the Admirals, and a few sideliners. The first thing I want to point out is that Green Bull is on the list and at his position only because of the rank he holds. I put him on a similar level that I do Fujitora, although since we've seen more from Fujitora, I put Fujitora higher. Although Green Bull has to have a similar level to be at that kind of position. Characters like Shanks and his crew also kind of ride off of notoriety. I mean, we have a Yonko and Yonko commanders, so at some degree they have to carry some weight and some strength. Now they're pretty much aligned based on where they sit on the crew. You have Beckman first, then you have Lucky Roo, and then you have Yasop. Now this isn't necessarily a 1v1 matchup list, but I do have confidence that the people that kind of sit higher above someone else could beat those below them in a fight if they were in a 1v1. For example, I think Zoro doesn't have enough strength to beat Jack in a 1v1, but I think he does have enough strength to beat Cracker in a 1v1. And now to kind of talk about certain sections, let's start with the Yonko commanders. For the top commanders, I have Katakuri sitting at the throne. Now, his showing is better than any of the other commanders as of now, and I think it'll probably stay that way. Marco, I see him as having great utility, but not great combat ability. King, I'm still on the fence about, and Beckman we've literally seen nothing of. For the second division, I have Lucky Roo at the top, interestingly enough, followed by Queen and then Smoothie. This one's a little bit weird because Lucky Roo doesn't really have any showings, and honestly, Smoothie doesn't really have a whole lot of showings either. Queen, what he's shown so far is to be somewhat incompetent, but he's still done more than the other two, which is why he kind of sits in the middle. I just have that much confidence in Lucky Roo that he could take on Queen and Smoothie. And for the third division, I have Jack, followed by Yasop, and then Cracker. Jack is just an overall offensive powerhouse, and he's a defensive powerhouse. Like, he is a tough tank to put down. So I find that really hard for Yasop to be able to deal with. And as far as Cracker goes, he has solid ability, but I think that if he can get sniped, then he's down. And I imagine Yasop has some ability to deal with hockey and or imbue hockey into his bullets, so I feel like sniping Cracker through his biscuit soldiers wouldn't be that difficult of a problem for him. Now let's talk about the Admirals. So I have Akainu at the top, and he's currently Fleet Admiral, so that kind of makes sense. Followed shortly by Aokiji, whom he dueled with, and while Aokiji ended up losing, it was a long duel. It was said to be neck and neck, and pretty much each one went all out, and Akainu barely came out on top. After Aokiji is Kizaru, and I think as a whole, the original 3 Admirals sit higher than the new coming Admirals. So Akainu, Aokiji, and Kizaru sit higher than Fujitora and Green Bull. Kizaru, I believe, has the same potential as Akainu and Aokiji, but he just really hasn't shown us everything yet, so he kind of just sits in the 3rd spot. For Warlords, we have Mihawk, we have Doflamingo, we have Weevil, and we have Boa. Now, before I even get into that, I'm going to say that Kuma is not on this list because of the pacifistification. If he was still pre-time skip, pre-cyborg Kuma, he would be in the top 10 for sure. But it pains me to say he's not right now. Now, Mihawk is just on another tier from the rest of the Warlords. Time and time again, he has been shown to have ludicrous feats in general. Being able to fight with Shanks, being one of the top dogs at the war, being the world's greatest swordsman. He earns the title and he earns that spot well. We've seen Doflamingo in action and we've seen what he can do. His entire arc showed us how much of a powerhouse and a tank he is with just strings. Weevil is said to rival that of Whitebeard in his youth, and that's saying something huge. Whitebeard in his prime was a monster, so in his youth he has to have some incredible strength. And we've also seen how well Boa fights. We've seen how versatile her fruit is and just how strong her haki is. So she definitely earns her spot. Now let's talk a little bit about the rookies and Straw Hats. So we have Luffy followed by Law, who's followed by Zoro, who's followed by Kid, and then Sanji. So of the new generation, I definitely think Luffy is the strongest. I think he's had the most growth and he has the most damage output of all of them. I also think Law has been incredibly good in showing just how good he is with his fruit and how great his ability is. If Luffy wasn't top dog, I would definitely put Law up there. I think Law definitely beats out the rest of the Supernova besides Luffy. And then we have Zoro and Kid. And now, I know putting Zoro over Kid might not be the most common thing, but I definitely think Kid needs to show us more before he gets a higher ranking. I think he's strong, I think he has potential, but we haven't seen anything great from him yet, so he's going to sit below Zoro for a little bit. And I think Sanji, with his raid suit, just finally cracks into the top 30. And finally, for the most important topic, the Yonko. Now, you're not going to see Dragon on this list, you're not going to see Emu on this list, you're not going to see the Gorosei on this list, all because they've literally shown nothing. We have no idea what their abilities are, we have no idea if they have abilities, we have no idea if they're even combatants. I'm going to save those for next year's list when we actually see something. Now, yes, I do have Shanks as the weakest Yonko. And the main reason is because we have seen so much more from the other Yonko, and Shanks hasn't done much in comparison. Blackbeard has fought with Whitebeard, he's fought with Shanks at some point, and he managed to scar Shanks. He's fought with the remainder of the Whitebeard pirates. He clashed with Ace and won. Plus he has 2 really overpowered devil fruits. If I didn't consider him such a poor fighter in general, I would have him ranked higher. Now to Big Mom and Kaido. Big Mom has so many consistent feats of strength that it's hard to put her at number 2. The reason I put Kaido on top is because as a physical powerhouse, I think he is definitively the strongest. The output of damage that we've seen from him is greater than just about anybody else we've seen in the series. So as far as being able to do damage, Kaido sits on top. Durability wise, Big Mom might actually have the advantage, but Kaido's whole thing about not being able to die keeps him in the running. And I question Big Mom's durability when it comes to her vulnerable state and when it comes to her hunger paying state. So she kind of has 2 methods in which she loses control of her durability, and that's a huge off if you're in a fight. With Kaido, Rio seems to be the only thing that's hurting him right now, so I think that's a much more difficult task than just getting Big Mom to go into a hunger pang. So as of 2020, I put Kaido, Mr. Land, Sea, and Air, as the strongest in the One Piece verse. Please let me know in the comments below if you agree, disagree. Feel free to drop your own list. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and I will catch you guys on the next one. Bye.